hour for public discussion.
Second.
Well, since it's in the second, in all due respect, I understand that we do have to have a time limit, but many of the hours that we spend here isn't necessarily the public that keeps us here for these countless hours. Oftentimes, it's some lack of preparation by some board members in the back room, and people not coming to meetings prepared appropriately. So if we're going to ask the community to be involved and have them to come out, I do want to have a time limit. I'm not sure an hour is going to be appropriate, because sometimes we have 4 minutes, you multiply it times the people that are here in the room. It doesn't add up. Almost every meeting that we spent past 11 was due to board members in the back room, not the community. So an hour and a half, I think, is a little more appropriate. That I might support, but an hour.
If that happens and we go in the back, that should be that night. Change for that. I think we should leave that per night meeting.
I'm just saying an hour and a half seems more appropriate.
Mr. Fink, I'm with Lenny on that. I would be happy to amend it to 90 minutes if you'd be willing.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, amend the public discussion to 90 minutes, did you say?
Yeah.
And to end the meeting by then.
And by 11 p.m.
Leave it at 11 p.m. All right, then 11:30. Fine.
All right, 11.
11 is fine.
I think they can make a limit on the time if you have things to do that night. That's my personal opinion. If you have to end the event, nobody wants to be here. Yeah, if there's nothing to do, but we're here because we have some things that we have to finish. So just put a cap on the time. I don't think it's appropriate. We have unfinished business.
Well, I mean, everybody definitely entitled to their opinion. Mr. Fink has amended his
Through the chair.
motion, and yes.
So we can make sure motions are heard. Mr. Fink, what is your motion now, please?
To end our board meetings at 11:30 now, and to have an hour and a half public discussion.
Maximum.
Maximum.
Doesn't have to be more than
No.
Is there a second?
that. I would say.
It's amended. It's amended now from what you said.
Oh, you're right. Okay, second.
That would need a roll call at this point.
Discussion. It's all from discussion.
You can do more discussion if you like.
I understand an hour and a half. I don't understand the ending at 11 or something. Put it this way, if you have something like Mr. Lockton says, if you have something to discuss, you discuss it. If you don't want to discuss it, you make a motion to adjourn. You adjourn.
Whatever is not finalized that night should be rolled over and taken at the very first next meeting.
The problem is we meet once a month or once in 2 weeks, and you have certain important things that have to take care of that affect the children of Lakewood. I don't think it's fair just to push it over 2 weeks because my alarm clock is going to ring the next morning at 6 o'clock and have to be at bed 11 o'clock. You know something? Yes.
Under the new proposals that we're going to have the committees actually do most of the discussions, I think that the meetings should be a lot more quicker and to the point, and I think it's not a problem to put a cap at 11:30. I think that's important for that night. We'll put off the agenda for that night right away. Everything else will get rolled over to the next meeting.
I have another question. Can we stop the clock at 11:29 like you do in the United States Senate if we have to? If something's coming up.
Sure, the township committee does it.
Okay.
So the motion, if I understand it correctly, is to end at 11:20 with 10 minutes for any unfinished business. What I understand the motion now to be is an hour and a half for public discussion. I'm just trying to understand so we make sure the motion is correct. Is that the motion now?
Yes.
Is it still seconded, Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Are there any more discussion on this first motion? The only procedural thing you forgot is you need to make a motion to go out of turn of the agenda.
I did.
Oh, you did? I did not hear that. I'm sorry. So that was the first motion. This is now the second motion. If there is no further discussion, the appropriate thing would be to call the vote, if that's okay with Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman? Mr. Finger?
Mr. Fink?
Yes.
Ms. Gonzalez?
No.
Mr. Grunhut? Ms. Micchio?
No.
Mr. Ostreicher?
He's
Mr.
not.
Seidler?
Yeah.
Mr. Silver?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas? Yes. Mr. Zlotka?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Through the chair,
Yes,
I would like to make a motion out of turn as well.
hold on. I know that we just had one. We'll get back. Can we start to move on the agenda? Let's get to the agenda, then we'll entertain some additional motions. Go ahead.
Through the chair, Mr. President, there are no presentations this evening. We're voting on minutes, so the next item would be recognition of the public.
Okay, then. Recognition of the public.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. R. Hertz. Says it on the agenda. Perhaps someone else signed his name as William Hobday. Mr. Hobday is here. Mr. Hobday, just give me a second to find where the clock is without Mr. Romano.
I'll keep it, Michael.
No, that's okay, Mr. Fay.
Do I have 3 minutes or 4?
You have 4, but just so we're clear, and correct me if I'm wrong, board members and staff, the 4 minutes includes any questions that would be answered. So it's not 4 and then the questions, it's a total of 4. Questions and answers.
Including this point.
Was that clear?
That's clear.
Okay, so I will now start.
Bill Hobday, 30 Schoolhouse Lane. We saw the report from the state auditor's office about the Lakewood School District, and attached to that, we also read the district's response, which I thought was very well done. How confident are you as a board now that the problems are behind us and that we're moving ahead in a proper direction for fiscal responsibility, keeping money straight, getting rid of the programs that don't work well and instituting programs that do? So I think that you are faced with a pretty large-scale reorganization of what you do, why you do it, and how you do it. This is going to be extremely important to the students in this next school year, because they will be the first ones to determine how well you have done this this new method of running the school system. What say you? Are you okay? You know where you're going? You have everything in place that you need? Do you have proper finances? Do you believe that you can prepare these students with that thorough, efficient education that they so richly deserve?
Is that all of your questions, Mr. Holiday?
That's all.
And as you propose this question for the board, rather than have the administration answer, I'm going to speak for us as a board, but other board members can feel free to speak as well, that this board is a newly put together board in the sense that many of us are all working together now recently for several months. I got to say this board is very, very in tune with what's going on and are looking very closely at almost everything that you said. We are planning to really reconvene by working in committees in a way that is very, very involved in all of those areas. For many of us that are, once again, working together for the first time, to say that we have a graph of every single thing, what I can tell you is that we are quickly working closely with our administration to assure that things like this do not occur again while on our watch. Each and every member on this board has been quite adamant about that as we've worked with the administration, business administrator, superintendent, assistant superintendent. So, we don't have a crystal ball to tell you that we can guarantee, but I can tell you that we're putting things in place. We're creating a lot, more oversight, and we are hoping with all that we're doing, working closely with the administration, that we will not see such things as you've seen in the past. And as you also know, some of the things that you saw in the audit were already, some of those things had been fixed even prior to the current board sitting, and we're even trying to make it even more efficient at this point. So I can say for us as a board, working together, that we believe that we're going to be making decisions that will not put us in that situation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Angie Felton.